after obviously you've had camp, preseason's over, now the games are actually going to count in the record book. Just how much are you guys looking forward to it? How excited are you to actually play games that matter now?
Yeah, it's the kind of, the progression that everyone's ready for, and I don't think anyone wants to stay in training camp mode too long. So, we could have used more time, but that now that the regular season's here, I think everyone's excited to get started.
Is there any sense of irony at all? I mean, this is the team, you're playing the team obviously that ended your season last year. Everybody seems to view you guys as the two best teams in the conference. Is there any irony at all in that?
What's the definition of irony, Brian?
I probably misspoke.
I'm just kidding. I hear what you're saying. I think that's by design. The league always tries to make interesting matchups opening night to generate that interest and start off with a bang. So it's great. Those are the nights you get most excited for, and we get to play the champs first night out and test ourselves.
Steve, after all the controversy during the preseason, do you feel these last couple of days since the decision was made about Kyrie that the focus has gotten where it needs to be and that there's more of a sense of direction and purpose might be missing?
I'll just say that our guys have been really focused for sure. They've been locked in. I think we had one bad outing in Philly. Otherwise, guys have been great every day of practice. They've been really committed and focused. So I've been really pleased with the application, and the guys are hungry.
Steve, when you embark on a season-long journey, do you look at the big picture and say, this is our goal, or is it all about the process and getting better and that kind of thing along the way?
No, I think we always try to be process based. I think for us it's important to always be progressing, always be improving, and so that's the goal. The end result, the outcome will take care of itself. But if we're a team that's looking for improvement every day, you can't ask for much more than that. So I think our focus is there. We want to win games, but we want to play well and improve.
You mentioned previously that it was kind of overlooked in the playoffs last year that you guys played very good defense, except for maybe one game. And where do you see the defense right now, especially with all the guys you've added in the front court?
To be honest, we'll see. I mean, I think it's so early. We haven't had a lot of, a large sample size. We got a lot of new guys, so I think there's a lot for us to continue to grow into. But I've been pleased, like I said, with our focus, and hopefully that period, of kind of finding cohesion and understanding at that end of the floor will be a little bit lessened by some corporate knowledge and some carryover from last year.
In terms of the rotation, that fill-out process, you have a lot of players at your disposal. Do you feel like you'd have a quick trigger as you tinker with the lineup, or a patient approach in terms of letting guys feel each other out and finding the right mix?
I definitely don't think we're going to overreact. We have lots of different lineups and depth, and we can go small, we can go big, and in various kind of looks in both of those categories. So I think that's something that is positive, but it takes time. These guys haven't played together, and so to give them an opportunity to see what combinations work, what type of lineups work, and see if there's certain styles that emerge from those lineups. That's a process that I think takes time. So we don't want to overreact. At the same time, we want to make sure we have a pulse on where things are trending, and that we can be progressive, but at the same time be sensible with our decisions.
Veteran group, it's not that you need extra motivation with the veteran group that you have, but with it being ring night, does it add a little extra fuel or put in perspective what you guys are competing for?
We'll see. We'll see how our group responds. They may have extra motivation. They may just be locked into what their jobs are. So I'm not really sure how they'll respond to that, or if that'll have an impact on them. But more than anything, I just want our guys to be prepared to start fast and play well.
Specifically with James Harden, what is sticking out to you about his approach heading into this season?
Well, I think James, much like last year, he really, his motives are pure. He wants to win. He wants this team to come together and grow. And I think for James, a big part of that is getting himself, in shape and finding his rhythm after very little basketball for a long, long time now. I mean, I can't remember what it was, but let's say it was, 6, 8, 9 weeks injured before the last game of the season in the Boston series, and then out for another 3 months, and then just started playing. I think his first up and down run was like a couple days before training camp. So his approach has always been great. His leadership's been great. Now it's just a matter of us finding the space and time for him to find himself after such a long layoff.
Coach, you said last week that Saturday was going to be the day where you kind of wanted to start hammering down on rotations and guys that you kind of wanted to have in and out of the lineup. How difficult is that when you have so many different players that bring so many different things to the floor?
It is difficult. I think everyone's going to take their turn being out of the rotation this year. I think that if last year's any indicator, there'll be plenty of opportunities through injury, illness, whatever it may be, COVID protocols for guys to have their moment and their turn. And I've preached to the guys, since the first night that we have to play for something bigger than ourselves. We have to commit to the idea of us playing our best basketball, and sometimes that means your number's called, sometimes it's not. So I think our players have to be flexible, have to have pure motives, like I said, that this group is the most important thing, and they'll do whatever it takes. So we'll definitely have some tough decisions to make along the way, and guys have to stay ready, be professional, and add to the group as much as they possibly can when they're not actually in the rotation.
Especially early on, would you say you're more inclined to lean on that unit of, I guess, James, Bruce, Kevin, Joe, and Blake because they have that corporate knowledge, I guess, as you would say, from playing last season together?
We'll see. I think we have a lot of different approaches that we could take, but the point is, I think throughout the year you'll see them all.
Steve, on opening night as a player, were you nervous? And as opening night as a coach tomorrow, will you be nervous?
I don't know if nervous is the word. Excited. I think the same, more so as a player than a coach. As a player, you put in so much, physical, pain and commitment to get to that point that, you want it to go well. As a coach, my heart is with these guys. I want to see them all be rewarded for their effort and focus and hard work. And so, you want to see your guys do well because you believe in them and you care about them.
With Joe's shooting for most of that series last year, do you chalk that up as more him, or do you chalk that up as more them, what they were doing? And if it's the latter, are there things that he could take or has taken from that series that he'll be able to put into effect that will be helpful?
I think Joe learns all the time. I think he's continued to improve his entire career. So he had a cold patch against the Bucks last year. That's something that he can take with him. He can grow from that. He can make adjustments. He can say he's been there before. And so I think it's a great opportunity for him to continue to improve, and he's just, improved throughout his career. I think the truth is in the middle. Part of it is Joe, part of it is us, part of it is them, part of it is circumstances. Played a ton of minutes in a very waterlogged season last year, so that's a factor as well. But I trust him, believe in him. He was an elite shooter, minus a few games in that series all year long, consistently. So his approach is fantastic. He's tough as nails, is incredibly unselfish and relentless with his work ethic.
Blake,
Last one, guys.
Blake mentioned that he played in practice on Saturday with Nick at the 5. Do you see Nick as challenging for a starting spot right now?
Yeah, we'll see. I think that we could, like I said, we have so many combinations to go through this year. So it could, there could be, you could see all sorts of combinations. I think we, in a sense, we're excited to explore all these different combinations. But, again, I'll go back to what I said is that there's a lot for us to work through. A lot of new guys, not a lot of new looks, and it's not just starters and reserves. It's combinations, it's rotations, it's guys missing games. At different times of the season and how we play with different guys in and out of the lineup. So a lot for us to work through. Last year, like I said, we kind of went through that continually. We never had a real stretch where we were healthy. So we're used to that. We welcome that and hope it's all short-term stuff that we can get better and improve throughout the season regardless of the ups and downs.